All right, hang on. We got to talk about Stephen Miller's aura. He leans back like all the time, right? He's here. He's back here. Doesn't it feel like when he really gets going, he kind of cocks his head back and up, and then there's a lot of this going on. It's just not good.
He sounds like a dick.
It's called the Smokin' Hat Podcast.
Who's going to win this battle of the lumberjacks?
Yeah, controversy's just good.
By no account is any of this true.
International politics.
Oh, but
Like, you have to be aware of the optics.
You gotta be aware. And like, dude,
I don't really wash my hands ever.
we lost a significant amount of our deposit.
Those who have perpetrated this hoax.
History.
The young Turks, probably the old Turks by now.
Three coups a decade or something. But
there's actually rules against me being involved in domestic politics.
And anything else that grabs them.
You guys know that Eric Adams is the mayor today?
Currently, yeah.
Donald J. Trump, he's got nothing to hide.
They don't know what they're doing.
You're like, oh, okay, that tracks a little bit better.
Okay, I gotta remember that.
We sure hope you enjoy it.
Hey there, Jimbo.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man. How are you?
Good. There's something about podcasting. Tickle your bowels. Is this your routine?
I think this has something to do with it.
Oh,
the Grande cold brew extra ice keeps me going.
I can't do. I don't know if this is true or psychosomatic. I can't drink cold brew. I can drink it gets me jittery. Like I can drink, and it must be made up because I can drink like those Celsius energy drinks, 200 milligrams.
You're hitting the celly.
Sometimes,
yeah,
I'll be fine or any of that stuff. But if I drink like a cold brew, well, I haven't tried a cold brew in a while, but it used to be that
caffeine.
It would give me jitters in a way other caffeine wouldn't.
Yeah. I used to drink 2 Trenta cold brews per day when I was teaching.
Yeah.
And that was pretty nuts.
My caffeine game is, well, in the summer it's at a valley right now, but it gets pretty high.
Yeah. I knew a farmer in Iowa and they drank coffee all day, every day.
Yep.
Always had a pot of coffee ready to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
was New Year's? Did you do anything exciting?
We made it to midnight.
Did you? I didn't.
We didn't think we were gonna. We went over to a friend's house. They had a couple of friends over and some kids, and we played board games, and somebody made 25 trivia, which was cute.
Oh, 25 trivia.
Yeah.
It's fun.
They had this fun game. Jordan's been telling all our coworkers about it, but it was a pretty cool game that's like, it's called Hot Streak. And it's basically like mascot. It's like a mascot race like they do in a halftime show or something.
Yep.
But you place bets on them. And so you flip cards over and you can kind of impact a little bit how the race might play out. But then you're placing bets on it. You win by having the most money at the end and by placing the best bets each round on like whether the hot dog is going to beat the bear in the race down the field. And there's side bets and stuff. So it's cute. We played a lot of that and a bunch of other stuff. So we made
Milwaukee Brewers invented this phenomenon.
Really?
The Clements sausage race. So the bratwurst, the hot dog, the Polish, and the Italian would race. This started in the 90s, I think, in Milwaukee. And now every team's ripped it off. And like in DC, you have the president's race.
Right.
George Washington races. I actually think Ben Franklin, and he's not a president. So maybe it's the founding fathers race or something. But yeah, Milwaukee had it. And then one time a Pittsburgh Pirate was very bored during the sausage race and he bopped the hot dog on the head and the hot dog fell on the ground and hurt his leg.
And everybody loved it.
The player on the Pirates got arrested.
Oh.
Charges were then dropped, but he was arrested that night for assault, whatever they call it when you whack somebody with a baseball bat. They had it on camera. So, yeah.
Well, it's a big hit.
My grandmother had a game called Let's Go to the Races.
Yeah.
And it was a videotape, 2 hours of horse racing. And you would bet on it. But then when you played it again, you knew who was going to win. So it was like a one-off. But I played it like 50 times. And I remember Nag was the name of one of the horses. And he won the race that he was in. And I would always put all my money on Nag. So, yeah. It's great.
They didn't quite figure out how to iterate that one. Or maybe they did.
Right.
Their grandmother just never bought them.
Right. Maybe there was a video subscription that she wasn't paying for. But they loved horse racing. We used to go to horse races down in Chicago. And I don't know. I did it like once or twice when I was older, but I lost money and it's kind of fun. I went to the Kentucky Derby one time, but not for me, I think.
Yeah, it's a tough sell.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's what we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd y'all do?
We went on a cruise.
Oh, right. We were in Mexico.
Caribbean. Yeah. So we went from Port Canaveral to Mexico to Jamaica, Grand Cayman, and then Disney's own island in the Bahamas called Castaway Cay. It was good. Cruises are fun. The kids have a lot to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other Americans around you, and that's interesting. But
they can only get so lost, you know.
They can only get so lost. And
what's the worst that could happen? They end up in the boiler room.
A kid fell off of a boat last year, and it's all anybody talks about. The uncle had him up on the railing. The kid fell off, and the uncle dove after him, and like they threw a life jacket in after him, and the boat turned around in a half hour, and they rescued the kid.
They have to turn the whole boat around. They don't have like a little dinghy they can just deploy off the back and.
It's a good question, actually. I said that. I don't know how they recovered him. I said they turned the boat around, but yeah. So no, they do have dinghies. There's lifeboats everywhere that I'm sure they can deploy.
Imagine being the uncle and like, I bet they can get the kid without me having to jump in, but I have to jump in because it's my fault.
Because it's your fault. So you're going in after that kid. So then the whole time it's all any like grandmother or aunt that you're around is mentioning. And then you're envisioning how could I get into the water? And like on the 13th floor deck, and you're like, it's a long way down.
Yeah.
Dang. So it was good. Jamaica was hammered by a hurricane.
Yeah.
And you get off the boat, they throw you in a bus, they take you to a beach, they give you chicken tenders, they bring you back.
Yeah.
That was all canceled in Jamaica, and they were basically telling you, don't get off the ship. It's pretty bad out there.
Yeah.
There were a few excursions, but they have a port that's like a militarized zone, and they got the guys playing the steel drums and the trinket shops and whatever. So we went in there in Jamaica, drank some Red Stripes, came back on the boat, but the other places seemed good. Mexico, it's Cozumel, which is like a fake island off of Cancun. It's where the cruise ships go. We went to a dolphin park where the dolphins are trained to high five you and do all kinds of stuff. I did not partake, but my brother and I watched. Everyone else partook. But yeah, well-trained dolphin that will talk and make noises and high five you and hug you. I'm sure it's not ethical, but there were 400 Americans there doing it. So
I read probably on Twitter that Cancun was a centrally planned tourist city.
That tweet had some legs over the holidays. Yeah, that was right when we were there.
There was nothing there, and they just were like, yep, we're gonna this looks like the best spot based on our studies to like develop a international tourism hub. So we're gonna build a bunch of resorts and an airport, and that'll be that. And then it worked.
Have you been there and seen the scene? There's it's another militarized zone for 100 miles. It's a little pocket, and there's a highway, and every mile down the highway is another massive all-inclusive resort, secured. You're inside the walls. There's a buffet, there's a pool, there's the beach. And it is just cranking through Midwesterners. It's crazy.
Well, when we went on like a boat tour of Antigua, we basically circle the island, or most of the island. They brought us and they pointed out every single resort to talk about like it was like a point of pride almost. They were like, this one costs this much to stay in a night, like the really expensive ones, and it's like this, it's like brand new. They're like really, it's like, you know, they're invested in these in the resorts, because I mean, I guess if your economy depends on it, you're like, hell yeah, we got like, you know, this 5-star resort that, I don't know, everybody gets a personal chef or something.
Right. Yeah, I think there's not. We were in Grand Cayman, and Grand Cayman's small, and you go around it and you kind of see everything. And it's just hotels and then offshore banking banks.
Yeah.
So have this giant it seems giant on Grand Cayman. There's a 7-story building, and it's Butterfield. And Butterfield is like you want to hide your money in the Caymans, you call Butterfield. And that's the big building on the island. And then everything else is resorts and condos it's a lot of British people down there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's not much going on. I think they used to make a lot of rum. I think now they don't make as much rum. So there's the rum distillery. They always point it out is over there. That's the rum distillery. Here's the beach. But yeah, it's a very specific form of travel. You're
right. Yeah.
Immersing yourself in the culture or anything, but anyway.
Yeah, it was very different. It was very different in Antigua to not be like, you know, the island's only so big, and like, you know, you can get a kind of a feel for what's going on there from talking to the couple of cab rides you take, and then you're like, yeah, that's not the point. The point is like beach. It's beautiful.
Right. It is an adjustment though. It's like
if you spent your whole life like trying to like search out the capital A authentic local.
Right. That's what I told Carly. I was like, this isn't that kind of trip. Let's eat chicken fingers and like tip the guy $20 at the beach, and
yeah,
that's it. So yeah, it was a good time. We had really nice time, and weather was good. Disney's island is insane. There's so many islands in the Bahamas that the cruise lines have bought them up.
Yeah.
And then they just build a port, and they put a beach club, and they have a tram, like a giant golf cart, 10 cars long, and they tow you around, and they drop you at the beach that you signed up for, and Mickey comes and you high five him. So, but yeah, not the Bahamas. We're in the Bahamas, but not in the Bahamas.
Sick.
Yep. Anyway, did you keep up with this news we got going on?
Very, very superficially. It's not enough to have takes.
I just did the Inception one. Hang on. Yeah, it's been it's wild out here right now, and I'll show you.
I'm wearing my Jordanian photo op.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Is it chilly down there?
The house has shit insulation, so it's comfy. It's like a evening robe.
An evening robe, of course. You're a gentleman. Abid brought me Zalatimo's sweets.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a big tub of the big pack with the Dome of the Rock on it, and I'm halfway through. There's like 100 in it, and no one else likes them. I like them, but the kids definitely don't like them. And Carly's met on them, but I'm taking them down.
She doesn't like not quinoa. What is it? Baklava.
And its derivatives. She's okay with it, but you see what she ends up eating because it's all impulse. And it's like, if I'm in the kitchen and it's 9 p.m., like I'm going to eat too. She's not there yet with the Zalatimo, but I'm doing it. So
she wants the, what's the big one in Dearborn? She's a Sabra.
Oh, right. Well, we found some good kunafa. There's good kunafa in Brooklyn, and we went out with some other friends for that in December. And if there was Manhattan kunafa, but I really haven't found good Manhattan kunafa. All the Egyptians are in Queens.
I saw some like atrocious things happen at kunafa in New York. Some Instagram trendy, like they're putting weird stuff on kunafa.
Yeah,
I saw on the internet once. I don't know.
I made a decent kunafa.
Huh.
I ordered the Katayef. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I ordered that online from a Turkish supplier.
Oh no, well it might be. Katayef is like the Ramadan, like the sweet. They're like dumplings, kind of.
Oh, okay. No, that's not what it is. The stringy business.
Yeah, the phyllo stuff.
Yeah, the thinned out stringy part, and that's the hard thing to find. And you can't get it fresh, so you got to get it like freeze dried. Then you kind of got to soak it, and then you cook it.
You know what? It's the same dough. I googled this. It's Katayef. Yeah. But you can also you can use it to make this Katayef or kunafa. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I made a syrup that was slamming.
Cool.
My syrup was legit.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, okay, so we invaded Venezuela. No, we kidnapped the president of Venezuela because according to Polymarket, did you see this? There was a lot of insider trading.
Yeah.
On the thing, and then Polymarket is not paying out because it doesn't count as an invasion. So there you go, insider trading, Trump affiliated people. So here's the raid. So I was in bed on the cruise ship because I wasn't sleeping that well on the ship. It's like 4 a.m. and I started seeing people uploading videos saying, "Hey, there's helicopters over Caracas."
Go to that second video.
And then we ended up getting
play that second video again a second.
Sure. I know. I swear I heard Arabic.
Somebody goes, Allah.
Yeah, I mean, too. It's possible this is not accurate video now that I'm seeing it. But yeah. So anyway, we invaded Venezuela, captured Nicolas Maduro. He got taken to a DEA site. His helicopter landed like 3 blocks that way. And then the DEA site was by Chelsea Market. And now I think he's in Brooklyn with Luigi in the Sunset Park place. Okay. U.S. troops, including the Army's Delta Force, created an exact replica of his safe house and practiced how they would enter. The CIA had a small team on the ground starting in August who were able to provide insight into Maduro's pattern of life, made grabbing him seamless, according to one source familiar with the matter.
Except for the 56 people who got killed.
Right. Cubans, apparently. Apparently his inner intelligence service is all run by Cubans. Sounds like a lot of Cubans got killed in the raid. I think 7 soldiers got injured, 2 of them seriously. I think the other 5 are already back. Here's Trump talking about it.
Venezuela. We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country.
Who's going to run the country? We're going to run the country. No question here.
Until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. We can't take a chance that somebody else takes over Venezuela that doesn't have the good of the Venezuelan people in mind. We've had decades of that. We're not going to let that happen. We're there now, and what people don't understand, but they understand as I say this, we're there now, but we're going to stay until such time as the proper transition.
He's just saying the same thing over and over again. Okay.
Well,
so
what does this mean? I haven't thought about this before, but he's saying we're there now. What is there? It seems like it's more like somebody else isn't there, but like,
and it seems like we're not there.
Yeah.
Based on everything I've seen, we're not there unless these CIA guys are still there, but it seems like we're not there. But Trump said we're going to run the country. Okay, so my question was, did 2001 to 2015 happen? Did we make it up in our heads? How did Trump vaporize the only takeaway from the most significant foreign policy experience of anyone between the age of 30 and 60? I don't know.
Well, we're not there, so I guess that is like, well, what if we tried it, but we didn't actually occupy the country?
It's actually an interesting thought. You're like, oh, the occupation was really the thing that turned public opinion against it. Of course, we're in violation of international law. All of these things are absolutely true, but the American public doesn't care.
I don't know, man.
Okay. Maduro, you may have noticed, has been rocking some dope fits.
Yeah. Good
so this is a Nike sweatsuit. I think somebody totaled up this outfit is worth $1,000. These are Oakley tactical sunglasses. I'm sure this came from the military, the ear protection. This is a special life jacket. It's a dope sweatsuit head to toe. Then more fits. So this was him. These are all photos of him since he's been captured. So the question is, did he have a suitcase? Are they providing him with fashion as he's going through it? Hard to say what's going on here. Okay, if you were kidnapped in the middle of the night by DEA, what would you want to get kidnapped in?
What clothes?
Yeah, what would you want to exude as you're paraded through Manhattan as a totem of American supremacy?
I don't know, like a Gaddafi style outfit, probably. You know.
Oh, really? See, I'm going Carhartt. While I'm imprisoned, I want the people to know that I am with them. So I'm thinking Carhartt, maybe a khaki jacket, a flannel underneath, some Wrangler jeans.
When I went to my brother's place, he showed me, he worked for IATSE for a bit, doing like he was not union, but he was working for IATSE. And he's like, the arts, he was like at all these big like Bad Bunny concerts, setting up, you know, all the stage stuff.
You talking about Bad Bunny?
IATSE is International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees.
Bad Bunny.
Yeah, so he was at like he was at MSG all the time, setting up for these huge shows, and
that's cool.
But he was showing me his hard hat that had like a 9/11 We Remember sticker, and he's like, "Yeah, you got to wear this." The guys told me the sticker is what really gets you cred. Anyways,
there's people in Manhattan who park illegally everywhere, and they just put an NYPD jacket in their dashboard. Sure. And one of the guys I know lives in the building next to me. He is not NYPD, but he always has the NYPD jacket on his dashboard. And it's like, I don't know if that's ever gotten out of a ticket. I wrote a note one time because I parked in this part of town and you need to be a commercial vehicle. And I made something up and I said, I have 3 guys who's doing HVAC work in 3:30. Be back soon. And they still gave me a ticket. So notes don't work.
Yeah.
They don't work at all. You need your business on the side of the vehicle. And I don't have that. So anyway, okay. So sick fits from Maduro. Now, why did we invade Venezuela? No, we didn't invade Venezuela, according to Polymarket. Why did we kidnap Nicolas Maduro?
They're going to be taken, and they're going to be taken very good care of. Yes, ma'am. Yes. I have. Which ones? Have you ever seen an independent? All of them, basically.
All of them.
Oil companies? They want to go in so badly. Yeah, they're going to be taken.
They want to go in so badly. Which ones? All of them.
Isn't this not true that like the oil infrastructure of Venezuela is like way underdeveloped and it would take 10 years to make money?
It's really bad. Quality oil needs a lot of refining. Yes. But there's some late breaking news that I'm going to save that is related to this. But there have been tweets in the last hour about this. Okay, what the oil companies say. Okay, so here's Donnie talking about the oil companies. Here's what the oil companies say. Okay, so the price of oil, about 58 at the time of writing, is already dangerously low for American fracking companies. $60 a barrel or above. I saw that Landman tweet. You ever seen that? With Billy Bob Thornton?
Yeah, we started it and did not like it. We're not a big fan of the Taylor Sheridan.
You're not in the Taylor Sheridan extended universe.
No. Sicario was good.
Sicario was good. Hell or High Water was good.
That's all I can say.
Hang on, I can show you it because this goes viral. And it's like such an absurd situation. Landman, Billy Bob, oil. Damn it. No. No, stupid website. All right,
above 60, but below 90. And don't get me wrong, we're still printing money at 90, but gas gets up over $3.50 a gallon, it starts to pinch. It hits 100, every product in America has to readjust its price. $78 a barrel, that's about perfect. You know, it brings enough profit to keep exploring, but it don't sting as much at the pump. Unless, of course, here in California, I mean, they tax the shit out of it out there. It could be $45 a barrel, and it's still $4 a pump. I don't know how those son bitches do it out there. 2020, a barrel of oil was worthless.
Anyway, there's Billy Bob. So that's my extent of my understanding of the oil business. That woman seems very interested in Billy Bob explaining oil to her, which seems like a very Taylor Sheridan sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, all right. So it's $58 right now. When oil executives have been asked point blank about their interest in Venezuela, they were notably non-committal. We'd have to see what the economics look like, said Darren Woods, CEO of Exxon. It would be premature to speculate, a ConocoPhillips spokesperson said. Venezuela's oil infrastructure is in ruins thanks to decades of chronic mismanagement. Experts report that it would take perhaps a decade of investment, $100 million, to bring it back to where it was in the 90s. American refineries were built, but that capacity is occupied by Canadian crude. Refining more would come at the expense of the industry as a whole. The looming collapse in oil demand makes a years-long investment in Venezuelan oil rigs risky. The EV transition has stalled in America thanks to Trump. The rest of the world is charging ahead. 1/4 of all cars in the world last year were EVs. In China, the largest single car market in the world, half of the cars were EVs. So, it seems like nobody really even wants this oil. Okay, so why no marching in the streets this time? Here's 03. It's not our oil, no war for oil. And then
is this a real question? Why no marching for the streets? Why no marching in the streets is because there isn't like a 6-month-long buildup to it.
Okay. So
like Iraq,
Nani is like running the Iraq playbook, but like smart. Is that what's happening right now?
I mean, Iraq, we went around being like, hey, are you interested? Can we get some help? Can we count on you? Can we count on you? And
but we lied. What was fascinating is we made up all these stories.
Yeah, the yellow
Amjad found curveball or whatever the hell Amjad did. And we waited for months. We argued at the UN and people protested. And Donnie's just like, just don't do that part. Just skip it. Is he right? Is he right about that? No war on Venezuela. This is a protest that's happening on January 9th. There is no war in Venezuela.
It seems, it's hard to argue.
Yeah. So they're winning. They're correct. The argument ends up hanging. Okay. Yeah. So it always comes back to international law. You can't kidnap people, sets an insane precedent, but Americans don't care about international law. Don't think it's real. Okay. So there you go. There's our Venezuela update. Here is Stephen Miller arguing with Jake Tapper. Did you see any of this Miller business?
No.
He's on a heater.
States is using its military to secure our interests unapologetically in our hemisphere. We're a superpower, and under President Trump, we are going to conduct ourselves as a superpower. It is absurd that we would allow a nation in our own backyard to become the supplier of resources to our adversaries, but not to us, to hoard weapons from our adversaries, to be able to be positioned as an asset against the United States rather than on behalf of the United States.
Sovereign countries shouldn't be able to do what they want to do.
The Monroe Doctrine and the Trump Doctrine is all about securing the national interests of America. For years, we sent our soldiers to die in deserts in the Middle East to try to build them parliaments, to try to build them democracies, to try to give them more oil, to try to give them more resources. What? The future of the free world, Jake, depends on America being able to assert ourselves and our interests without apology. This whole period that happened after World War II, where the West began apologizing and groveling and begging
I don't even know
these
honestly
vast
what you're talking
reparation
about right
schemes,
now.
What I'm talking about, Jake, is the idea. And by the way, I know you love doing that smarmy thing, Jake, and I was hoping to be better than that this time.
I asked.
You're being very smug, Matt Lauer. Smug is not a good look. You remember that when Tom Cruise was having his mental breakdown and he went on the Today Show? Yeah. And then Matt Lauer gave it to him, and then he was like, "You're being very smug, Matt." All right, hang on. We got to talk about Stephen Miller's aura. He leans back like all the time, right? He's here. He's back here. Doesn't it feel like when he really gets going, he kind of cocks his head back and up, and then there's a lot of this going on. It's just not good.
He sounds like a dick. Like his accent, just
exactly. I mean, it's fascinating that his tone has not been identified to him. But at the end of this, somebody published the post-game interview transcript where they stay on the call and they wrap it up after they cut. And Jake Tapper said, "This is why they don't let you go on TV, Steve." That's a pretty good line for Tapper. Yeah, like Tapper annoys the hell out of me, but that's a great line. That's really good. Yeah, but just look at it, like he's just up here and he's back here. Okay, so Steven just going wild. He's so excited to find out we're a superpower. That's like, it's just like, what's the question? Could we kidnap third world leaders? The answer has been yes for 100 years. I mean, this is not.
Well,
like,
I mean,
we figured this out. I'm like, no,
we kind of Somalia set us back a little bit there.
Black Hawk Down. And then Iran.
Iran also didn't do so good getting in and out. But
I think Donnie brought that up. He's like, the other times they tried this, they crashed in the desert. Jimmy Carter.
Still dunking on Jimmy Carter.
Still dunking on that peanut farmer. Yeah. You guys must love Jimmy, right? He divested his peanut farm.
Yeah, well, I'm a fan of his politics, I suppose.
Seems like a very decent man.
Yeah.
I wasn't around. I read that he was a loser or whatever, but I'm like, he just seems like a good guy.
Yeah, it seems like one geopolitical incident that he had no responsibility for.
And you just feel like Trump would have just like cruised right over that speed bump. He wouldn't have even registered.
Terrible planes.
Terrible planes. We got to get rid of the military. The problem is they're not good with the helicopters. So anyway, so Steven's on an absolute heater right now, running around, very excited. Okay, here is, where are we at? Okay. When they make the movie, if we still have movies, which we probably won't, who's playing Stephen Miller in the movie? I think I have the answer.
I'm trying to think of a character from Succession. Yeah.
Ooh, interesting. Kieran Culkin.
Jeremy Strong.
Kieran Culkin, but no, I think Paul Dano.
Okay.
Pretty good, right? He's sort of unlikable.
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino was giving him the business, and then everybody saved him. Chalamet?
I don't know.
He can do it all. I mean,
let's maybe reach. Yeah, we just saw the ping pong movie, Marty Supreme. I realized like halfway through it, I was like, this is by the same guy who made Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems?
And then I was like, oh, I get it, because it's the same. That no other movie has the same energy to it, where it's just like so frantic and like anxiety inducing, but in a good way.
All right, now here is Donald Trump on Fox News.
This incredible thing last night of letting somebody else take over, where we have to do it again. We can do it again too. Nobody can stop us. There's nobody that has the capability that we have. When I watch that war in Russia going on and on and on, and everybody dying, and
what's taking them so long?
It's primitive. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Could you tell us, Mr. President?
Nervous laugh.
Nervous laugh. What's taking so long over there in Russia? They should just take care of Ukraine. Okay, so Donnie feels, I think, emboldened, surprised, empowered, a little bit maniacal. We can do this to anyone at any time. Do you think we do it again? Does Rubio want to go get Castro's brother?
I
think Rubio does.
I don't know. It seemed... no, probably not. I don't know.
Would you have guessed we would have kidnapped Nicolas Maduro in a night raid over the Christmas holiday? I didn't have that one.
No, but I didn't realize how much the videos of him dancing were eating away at the top Trump brass.
He talks about it. We'll get to that. Okay. So maybe not. Now, you might be right about Cuba because they're going to talk about something else. But here's the deal. So Trump said, we're going to stay. We're in charge. The person who everybody thought was going to take over is this Nobel Prize winner. Did you see this person? Machado. I forget her name. Machado's her last name. And she won the Nobel Prize. And everyone's like, she's going to be the one. Well, now Donnie doesn't like her anymore. But she's not giving up on her hopes to replace Nicolas Maduro.
Did you at any point offer to give him the Nobel Peace Prize? Did that actually happen? I had read that somewhere. I wasn't sure if it was true.
Well, it hasn't happened yet, but I certainly would love to be able to personally tell him that we believe the Venezuelan people, because this is a prize of the Venezuelan people, certainly want to give it to him and share it with him. What he has done, as I said, is historic. It's a huge step towards a democratic transition, and I want to.
So anyway, she wants to give Donald Trump the Nobel Peace Prize. I don't know if that's going to happen because Donnie kind of trashed her. She's like, it's very sad. She's not very popular. We did a poll. No one likes her. Okay. Now, back to Maduro. Here he was in court being read his rights by a 92-year-old judge.
Understood. He said he did stuff from the judge, translated to him by an off-screen translator to ensure that he understood. He said he did. Interestingly, he said after the judge read him a version of Miranda rights and included the fact that he had the right to potentially be released on bail, Maduro said he was unaware of those rights. And it struck me that he's coming from a very different legal system, because it seemed like he had never even conjured the notion that he's entitled to an attorney, he may be able to apply for bail, and he has the right to use, to stay silent. He has the right that none of the material that he has said outside the purview of counsel necessarily has to come in. So it was interesting to see him sort of taking that in a system very different.
So Maduro unaware of his Miranda rights. Fascinating. Okay. So anyway, Machado, I think, wanted to be the president of Venezuela. I don't think it's going to happen. Maduro's here. It kind of sounds like, it seems like the rumor is this vice president who's now president is going to maybe turned over Maduro because of a tweet I'll show you here at the end. Because of the way it kind of went so well, it seems like there might have been a little bit, who knows? There might be a little bit of an inside job here. But anyway, back to who are we going to invade next? Okay. Jeff Landry. You know who this is?
Sounds familiar, but
he's a governor. He was the governor until like an hour ago of your neighboring state of Louisiana.
Oh, yeah. Big asshole. Oh, they made him special envoy to Greenland. Fuck.
They made him the special envoy to Greenland. Okay. So this is, I got like 10 SEC connections. It's a bonanza here. All right. So here's Jeff Landry on CNBC this morning explaining imperialism to the CNBC morning crew.
I understand that I made the point earlier that international laws is a term that's being thrown around. As far as Venezuela is concerned, I'm not sure that applies. But in terms of Greenland, Denmark's a NATO country. This is a territory of Denmark, at least on paper at this point. So it would seem to be something where you'd actually have to look at how the courts would view it, how international law would view it, international perception. I mean, this has Europe, a lot of people in Europe talking about it almost being like Vladimir Putin in Ukraine.
Well, I disagree. When has the United States engaged in imperialism? Never. Europe has engaged in imperialism. The reason that the Danish have Greenland is because of imperialism. I think that what the president's saying is that if Greenland wanted to come to the United States, if they wanted, if they would, but
I don't think the polls. I don't know whether the polls are correct.
People of Greenland, at least thus far, do not want to do this.
But I don't think they want to be at Denmark either. I think they want
exactly, and I think that the president supports an independent Greenland with economic ties and trade opportunities for the United States. Is what I've said all along, and I think that that's.
So anyway, the United States has never engaged in imperialism. Which is probably going to be news to a fairly large number of the earth. But there you go. That's Governor Jeff Landry, now special envoy to Greenland. And I had to remember where I saw Jeff Landry last. It was when Brian Kelly, about a month ago, was fired from LSU.
Who's that? No. I can tell you right now, Scott Woodward is not selecting the next coach. Hell, I'll let Donald Trump select it before I let him do it. I don't know, but the Board of Supervisors is going to come up with a committee, and they're going to go find us a coach. Hold on. One real quick thing on that. Because here's what y'all reporters need to do. Y'all need to start looking at who represents all these people. like these agents. You know what's interesting? If I'm not mistaken, Woodard's agent, Kelly's agent, the Texas A&M, they're all the same agent. Like you realize if I would be, I don't know how many sports writers we got here today? I got just you. We should have a bunch. Okay? Like this is ridiculous. Lawyers would be disbarred for the way these agents act and the way they're able to represent. In fact,
but they're not lawyers.
So there's a lot going on in this clip. This man is now our special envoy to Greenland, which might be the next country we invade. Katie Miller. We'll get to that.
So economy mostly based on fishing.
Look at all that early on my scripts. But there was, within this press conference, this might not be true, but what I'm hearing is Brian Kelly used to coach Notre Dame. Now he coached LSU. He just got fired. They owed him $54 million still at the end of the contract. They wanted to fire him for cause because he violated something perhaps in his contract. Morality clause, perhaps. If they do that, they have to notify him within 7 days of firing him. This guy fired the president of LSU and then fired everybody underneath the president of LSU, so no one knew the terms of Brian Kelly's contract when they fired him. So they did not notify him within the time frame to get the 20 million plus savings. And then they are referencing, I think, this press conference as evidence that and then LSU said they didn't fire him because they wanted to reset the clock. And then I think they used this press conference as evidence that he did fire him because he says here that he fired him. So anyway, this is our new envoy to Greenland, which is all very exciting. That's all allegedly. I don't know if that matters. People just say that. So there you go. Allegedly. Okay. So Jeff Landry's our new person. More SEC connections. This is your former coach in Oxford. He has left to become the president of Venezuela because Lane always goes where the money is. So that's a big meme that's floating around. Now, Katie Miller. Let's jump in. So Katie Miller kicked off this whole Greenland thing after the Maduro business. Katie Miller tweeted this, which says soon. And it's Greenland covered in the American flag. Okay. Now, did a little digging on Katie Miller. Katie Miller is now, she was Mike Pence's chief of staff up through the end of 2020. So when Mike Pence was nearly killed 4 years ago today at the Capitol, she was his chief of staff, or maybe she left just before that, but that's where she came from. She now has a conservative mommy podcast called the Katie Miller Podcast. She tweets that out. Her tweet, as the host of a mommy podcast, generated a joint statement from 7-8 heads of state in Europe. Macron, Merz, Maloney, Tusk, Sanchez, Starmer, and Frederickson. The Arctic security remains a key priority for Europe. NATO has made it clear the Arctic region is a priority. Allies are stepping up. We and many have increased our presence. The activities in the Arctic are safe and meant to deter adversaries. The Kingdom of Denmark, including Greenland, is part of NATO. Security in the Atlantic must therefore be achieved collectively in conjunction with NATO, including the United States, by upholding principles of the UN Charter, sovereignty, territorial integrity. These are universal principles. We will not stop defending them. The United States is an essential partner in this endeavor as a NATO ally through the defense agreement between the Kingdom of Denmark and the United States. Greenland belongs to its people. It's for Denmark and Greenland, for them to decide what happens next. So we're now getting statements from our allies because a mommy blogger who worked for Mike Pence tweeted soon. Now, Katie Miller's podcast, I have not been keeping up, but she had Elon on, as you might imagine. We'll just do the first minute because it's painful.
Do you think you were successful?
We're a little bit successful. We were somewhat successful.
Would you ever do Doge again?
I mean, no, I don't think so. I think instead of doing Doge, I would have basically built, worked on my companies essentially, and the cars they wouldn't have been running the cars.
What's your biggest irrational fear?
I try not to have irrational fears.
None?
If I find an irrational fear, I squelch it.
If you had to start from scratch today with only $1,000, what would you do?
Well, I did originally come to North America with $2,500 Canadian, so I don't know, maybe $2,000 US. At this point, I have a lot of knowledge. A lot of things have to go wrong for that.
I love knowledge.
It's like, am I just emerging from prison, perhaps? With a stipend?
Oh, you're too much.
Okay, so that lady triggered a joint statement from 8 heads of state in Europe about invading Greenland. The energy there was weird, I thought. And she left the administration in May to work for SpaceX. And there was a lot of rumors. I don't know what they were, but there were a lot of rumors on the internet. And then she came back to start her mommy podcast aimed at conservative mothers. That's what she says, in August. Now, Katie Miller went on, and we may have talked about this, the Jesse Waters show, to discuss what it's like being married to Stephen Miller.
You are married to Stephen Miller, so you are the envy of all women. What is that like?
The sexual matador, right?
What is it like being married to such a sexual matador?
He is an incredibly inspiring man who gets me going in the morning with his speeches being like, let's start the day. I am going to defeat the left and we are going to win. He wakes up the day ready to carry out the mission that President Trump was elected to do.
I think.
Okay, so what do you think sexual matador means?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I remember this. Does that make her a bull?
And the matador
angry at red?
Hit by the bull, right? So you parry.
Yeah.
Parries.
He's good. He revs her up and she runs at him, and then he steps out of the way when she's going.
Okay, so we have an SEC connection here. This is going to get fun. I want you to know. Katie Rose Waldman Miller was born Katie Rose Waldman. 24, she earned a BA from the University of Florida, where she was active in the student government Unite Party. 2012, Miller and another student were found stealing copies of the Independent Florida Alligator from campus newspaper dispensers after the publication reported a front-page story about then football head coach Will Muschamp's endorsement of a rival party's candidate for student vice president. So naturally, I dug in on this. So here's what happened. Katie Miller stole all the newspapers. This was written in 2012. This was before anyone knew who Katie Miller was. The culprit behind the dumping of 268 student newspapers came forward Monday, confirming the newspapers reporting that a student politician threw them out. They wrote a front page column, I think, apologizing for stealing the newspapers. The head coach endorsed the other candidate because the other candidate was a fullback on the football team. 2 witnesses saw Tiermer and Katie Waldman, nay Waldman, former Waldman, now Katie Miller, both members of the Unite Party, discarding the newspapers on the eve of the government elections. So she is no stranger to election fraud. Here is the Will Muschamp endorsement of her competitor, still available on alligator.org. Shout out to alligator.org. Here we go. The Independent Florida Alligator. UF football coach publicly endorsed the Students Party vice presidential candidate. There's not much to it, but she threw all of these in the garbage the day it came out, which is fantastic. And then and then the Unite Party. Okay, here's the Unite Party. The Unite Party, the Students Party, Independence. The Unite Party, founded in spring 2009, has, according to their column, been focused on bettering student life. The Unite Party has stopped block tuition at UF and increased funding for student organizations. Seems good. Majority of the Unite Party are apart, and I think they mean like in.
Yeah,
apart is weird. Of the Greek life at UF, and other members that aren't a Greek have failed in previous elections for other parties. While there are non-Greeks who vote for the Unite Party, the majority of the voters come from the sororities and fraternities on campus. So Katie was the sorority and fraternity candidate at University of Florida. Okay. So that reminded me of this. This was going around, but I liked it in light of the mommy blog.
George, I think do you know what fascism is? You know what fascism is?
America,
you know what Nazis are?
Sir, wait, sir. When fascism comes to America, it will not be in brown and black shirts. It will not be with jack boots. It will be Nike sneakers and smiley shirts. Smiley. The fascism. Germany lost
Angry
the Second
Carla.
World War. Fascism won it. Believe me, my friend.
There you go. So I think it's not coming in Nikes. It's coming in whatever this aesthetic is. Conservative mommy podcaster.
Without even realizing it's fascist.
Right. 100%. Right. Yeah. There's our aesthetic. If you're in Greenland, it's this lady who's threatening your sovereignty at the moment. Okay. Now, something I just like to bring in occasionally. Not sure if it's relevant. Jeffrey Epstein set Elon Musk's brother up with a girlfriend in an effort to get close to the Tesla founder. They dated for 2 years. Just going to bring that up occasionally on the podcast. I don't know if it's important. I'm not sure it is. Okay. Now, here's Trump today musing about canceling the midterm elections.
This president did the worst job. They had the worst policy. We have to even run against these people. Now, I won't say cancel the election. They should cancel the election because the fake news will say, he wants the elections canceled. He's a dictator. They always call me a dictator. Nobody's worse than Obama. We had the worst.
Oh, got him. You can't call me a dictator because nobody's worse than Obama.
Nobody's worse than Obama. They're going to, if I talk about canceling the elections, they're going to say I talked about canceling the elections. Yeah, the retreat was a banger today. Okay, so he talked about that, and then they updated their website in honor of January 6th today on the White. So this is the official White House timeline of January 6th. President Trump urges calm. Ashley Babbitt is murdered in cold blood. Hang on, let me get that up on the screen. Ashley Babbitt murdered in cold blood. Mike Pence refused to act, and the stolen election was certified. So that's on the White House website tonight. And then to wrap everything up,
I guess I didn't realize this is the first January 6th, since he's back.
Since he's back. It worked.
Yeah.
Naturally, we wrapped up the Republican retreat with that. Okay, now here is the final payoff tweet for the night. Venezuela has decided to give us oil. Hang on, we'll find it. Here we go. All right. I am pleased to announce that the interim authorities in Venezuela will be turning over 30 and 50 million barrels of high quality sanctioned oil to the United States. The oil will be sold at its market price, and that money will be controlled by me as President of the United States of America. To ensure it is used to benefit the people of Venezuela and the United States, I have asked Energy Secretary Chris Wright to execute this plan immediately. It will be taken by storage ships and brought directly to unloading docks. Storage ships and unloading docks. Thank you for this attention.
So this means that we're going to sell it at market price?
To benefit the people of Venezuela and the United States, controlled by him. So we have kidnapped the president of Venezuela, and then the vice president of Venezuela, who is now the interim, has decided out of their goodwill and generosity to give us 30 to 50 million barrels of oil. So I'm not really sure what's happening right now, but it sure seems like something's going on there.
Yeah.
Sure seems like we grabbed Nicolas Maduro pretty simply, and now we have all this oil from a person who theoretically shouldn't want to give us oil at this moment. So, yeah.
It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
I saw the Trump phone supposed to be delivered in 2025. The gold phone.
Yeah.
Where is it? No, it's not.
Where
happening.
is it?
They're still taking
supply chains, tariffs. It's hard.
They're still taking $100 deposits on it, and
those refundable.
I don't know. Well, the website still says they'll be delivered by the end of the year, which is now 6 days ago. And they have
gotta get those phones are complicated. You got to get that rolling.
Well, yeah, and it's proudly American proud design. That's the one they backed off. They're like, yeah, we're gonna make these phones, make them America, and then it was like, well, no, we're gonna make them proudly thought of in America.
that it's like on the Apple, designed in California.
Yeah.
Like, oh, so the computers were in California. Great. Yeah. So no, I'm not so sure about any of this anymore. But yeah, so no, we're doing great. Everything's fine. And I mean, I think the concern here would be, Russia just grabbing Vladimir Zelensky and saying they're going to try him for corruption or drug dealing or whatever. And seems like we've set a pretty tough precedent to argue with them if they're able to do that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, you reading any good books?
I read this book, Fire in Every Direction. It's like it's by a queer Palestinian Jordanian. It's a memoir, basically. There's a lot of nostalgia going on in it. It's not that interesting, I would say, but I'm doing a book club on it. But like a lot of nostalgia for Abdali and Jabal Aman. This kid grows up there. He's from Haifa, but his family goes to Beirut and then to Jordan. And there's some interesting.
Does he write about the?
It's weird because he writes with a lot of random Arabic interjections, some of which he translates like afterwards what the idiom or word means, and some of which he just doesn't. So it's like you have to kind of get
it. Did he write it in English or is it in translation?
It's in English originally, but with random interjections in Arabic, and some of them the formatting does not work perfectly on. It's fine. It's a lot about. I mean, it switches back and forth between being about being a Palestinian and being a gay person, and never really ties those two things together. That it does a little bit towards the very end.
Intersectionality.
Yeah, it's a little bit lacking. It's fine. That's the last thing I read. I'm thinking I'm going to read this book about John Brown, told from his son's point of view, which is supposed to be very
John
good.
Brown. My favorite to teach in social studies. We did a trial of John Brown. And
that's cool. Did you watch the Ethan Hawke miniseries?
I did not. I am aware of it, and I've read about it. I should watch it.
It's very good. John Brown's pretty interesting figure in American history.
Maybe the most interesting guy we ever met.
Potentially, yeah.
Douglas told him not to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5 nights before.
What's it called? There's
Old Man Bird.
The Good Lord Bird is.
Bird.
Is that the? Oh, so wait.
The Old Man in the Musket.
No, the Good Lord Bird is what the miniseries was based on. Maybe I'm mistaking this book as being.
I watched a PBS documentary on him that we would show in class that I've saw 7 times. So
I don't know. I'm not sure. I got to figure out. Maybe I'm.
Bleeding Kansas seems like it was really wild.
Brutal. Yeah.
Yeah. Seems like a wild couple of years in Manhattan and Lawrence.
Cloud Splitter.
Okay.
Narrated as a retrospective by his son Owen Brown.
Okay. He got captured by Robert E. Lee was the first person to respond.
Lieutenant on scene.
Yeah. The railroad. They didn't grab all the railroad guys.
So I've been to Harper's Ferry a bunch. It's pretty interesting.
I've driven through it. I tried to convince 5 of my cousins to stop, and they weren't up for it.
You drove through it on the way to where?
To Huntington, West Virginia, where my mother's from.
Really?
So, yeah.
I did not know that.
I've spent a lot of time in West Virginia. My grandfather ran the CBS station there for 10 years. Yeah.
West Virginia is beautiful.
It's gorgeous. It's I would always joke my high school would send a mission trip there, like one town over from where I would go for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then they would all come back, and then I'm like, I'm going. And they're like, you're going? I'm like, yeah. There's like there's a Cracker Barrel we go to. It's awesome. So yeah. Huntington's all these places used to really be something, and now it's like it's run down. There's actually a little like hipster gentrification in Huntington now, but it's great. Right on the Ohio River, old coal town, old buildings. Marshall University is there, and that's like props up the whole city. So,
yeah, it's interesting seeing those towns because we biked from. I mean, I've biked not in one go, but from DC to Pittsburgh. I've biked from DC to West Virginia, and I've biked from West Virginia to Pittsburgh.
Oh wow!
Because it's all rail trails, and so it's doable because the grade of the trains could only be so much, which makes it for pretty nice biking.
And they've paved over.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's cool.
So you can bike. I mean, people do this all the time. You bike straight out DC to Pittsburgh. Anyways, you stop in all these towns, and they're pretty cool. Some of them are, springing back. Some of them not so much.
Yeah. No, they had, my uncle worked for Eli Lilly in West Virginia during the opioid crisis, and was calling on pharmacies and they weren't selling oxys, but he saw it. And then you'd go there I went to a high school graduation, and the crazy stories like that family over there won the lottery and then bought a duck boat, and then they drove the duck boat off the side of a holler, which is a hollow, but down there they say hollow.
Yeah, we call it that. It's the holler here as well.
Yeah, it's down in the holler, and you just see these wild stories, and you're just like, this is wild.
Yeah, people are a little overly enamored, interested in Florida. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but in Appalachia, there's also some pretty funny stuff that happens.
Great music now too. Sturgill Simpson and Tyler Childers are from that area. And some good bluegrass coming out of Eastern Kentucky and Western West Virginia. So,
there's a big folk festival that happens in Arkansas, in a town, not up in a hollow, not too far from us where we've stayed. Which Arkansas is not technically part of Appalachia, but definitely.
Ozarks, similar culture. Yeah.
What are you reading?
I'm reading Umjud's book,
right?
Which I'm about 100 pages into. It's a delight. I think he wrote it. We're gonna interview him here soon because he wants to. But there's like some great Umjud flourishes in it. I'm like, I think you wrote this.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of fun.
Good for him.
Yeah, it's good. It's like really, it's all half of the stories he's told me over coffee, but they're well told. And he's got like Dan Rather blurbing it, photos of him and Bob Simon in Baghdad in 92 or whatever. So that's kind of fun to see. And then I'm reading The World as It Was, which is sort of a famous book written by a Jewish guy in Vienna, Stephen Zweig. And I guess he's well known. I came across it in another book, and it's all about how he lived through both world wars, and he's explaining how nobody in Vienna, middle to upper class merchant family, well-to-do, had any sense that anything this bad could have possibly happened, and how they thought they had transcended brutality and violence, and it was a city of culture and art and theater, and how they just totally missed what was coming. And it's just like he's describing how his school was and how the town was and how it was just, and then he's saying people complain about nothing happening in their lives. And he's like, we are the people who everything has happened to, we've had our whole lives upended, destroyed. Many of our friends were killed. It's interesting book. It's a little tedious at times where he's walking you through the day of a schoolboy in Vienna in 1912, but it's also kind of interesting. So that's what I'm working on between those two.
Cool.
Yep.
The next book you should read, I think I told you this before you went to Scotland, but his Bloody Project, which is about Scotland, which is a little bit sometimes tedious maybe, but the whole feel of dirt poverty and remote Scotland is just so interesting. And it's narratively pretty cool, but that's
it's
a good one.
Ireland, when you get out of the cities, it's very rural, and then you hear about what happened during the famine and just people starving on the side of the road. It's pretty shocking. Cool.
Well, hopefully, I don't know.
Hopefully we get it all figured out.
Yeah.
Hopefully everything works out.
Doesn't happen again.
Yeah. Yeah. What did we learn here? We learned not to do it again. Yeah. But I don't think we learned that.
I'll be damned if I know what we did.
That movie's tremendous.
I
There's not
probably
been
watch.
enough love.
I probably watch it once a year. Brad Pitt's
so
probably best acting, probably.
It's so fun. Yeah. And then who's the main character? Being Malcolm.
John Malkovich.
Malkovich. Yeah, John Malkovich.
Yeah.
Just when he's arguing with the guy from the Mormon guy.
Yeah.
So
he's a fucking
compared
Mormon.
to you, we all have a drinking problem.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff. Yeah. Anyway. All right, dude. Sounds good. We'll talk in 2 weeks. I'm gonna try to figure out Amjad and see if we can figure out a time. So
Alrighty. Sounds good, man.
cool, dude. All right. See you, Jimbo. Later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You don't want to leave.
We'll see you all next time on the Smoke and Hat Podcast.